There are still lots of amazing moments coming up in the show. We've got more performances and, of course, the Game of the Year announcement. Oh, whoa, what's going on? Okay.
This is Joker. I've infiltrated the theater.
This was it. This was the moment that fans of Super Smash Bros. Started to realize what exactly they could expect from the DLC of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Not even 3 to 4 hours before the actual launch of the complete game, and already we had a bombshell. Joker from Persona 5, a character who had never even officially appeared on a Nintendo console, was coming to Smash Bros. Unlike Smash 4, not starting off with a Nintendo or a character from a previous Smash game, we were starting off with a big third-party character. And I honestly couldn't care less. I don't deny how much of an absolute monumental reveal this was. This set the tone for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate DLC going forward. Much like with the reveal with Ridley earlier on in the year, this was a sign that previously established quote-unquote rules made by the Smash community about who or who could not join Smash Bros. Was out the window. Even if they were third-party, they didn't have to have a legacy of being on Nintendo consoles previously. And even if they were characters that had never even appeared on a Nintendo console, they were still fair game. Granted, this was more often than not a precursor to these characters having some of their own games join Nintendo consoles. Joker had Persona 5 Strikers come out for Switch a few years later, if I remember right. Hero had Dragon Quest XI come out for the Switch a few months after his reveal. Banjo-Kazooie, they did have to wait a little bit until N64 Online came around, but for the most part, it seemed that this was going to be a very wild ride. But even with all of that and the promise of the future, I still didn't care that Joker was in the game. I knew he was popular, but I personally haven't played Persona 5 or any other Persona game. The most experience I've had with Persona was when they were in BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle. But this did make me very hopeful. With 4 other character slots and the first one being such a big heavy hitter, it was a sign that Nintendo was not going to pull their punches with the reveals for this DLC. We would have to wait before we got the next couple of characters, however. In the meantime, I managed to graduate college like I mentioned before, and then started my adult life, or rather my adult life without the context of school involved. I got a new job, Kingdom Hearts 3 came out, and I was just chugging right along. Felt like I was in a good place, I thought I was doing all the right things, and then E3 rolled around. We got both Hero and Banjo revealed for Smash Bros. At first, I will admit I was kind of upset that Hero was the character introduced because at the time I thought it meant that Sora wasn't going to get in. But once I brushed that off and I said like, you know what, it is what it is, it makes perfect sense why Hero's in Smash. Dragon Quest is mad popular over in Japan, so having Hero in Smash Bros. Is a no-brainer. And for me personally, I wasn't necessarily in love with the character, but it was a cool character. I love Dragon Quest IX, and I had played Dragon Quest XI, so it was kinda cool to see another character that I actually recognized from a game I'd played before in Smash Bros. Banjo, on the other hand, not the same kind of reaction. Much like Joker, I know that he's really popular and that a lot of people requested him to join Smash, but for me personally, I've never played Banjo-Kazooie, so I was just like, okay, this is cool, people wanted him, so that's a really cool get. And it showed the fact that even Xbox was willing to play along with Nintendo. And that would prove to be a very critical and important partnership when it came to the next Fighters Pass, but we'll get to that next time. But with that, E3 had come and gone, and I was just keeping right along with my job, thinking everything was going fine, and couldn't wait for the reveal of the next character. Then things changed for me. About a few weeks after E3, I actually got fired from the job I got hired for, and it really hit me hard. I'm not gonna stay here and like, oh, I wasn't at fault, they just fired me for no reason. I definitely had faults of my own, but there was a lack of communication that sort of led to this downfall. Both things that I was and was not doing that I could have adjusted to be a better employee and create a better experience for the clients I was working with was not effectively communicated to me, so I just stayed the course thinking everything was fine, which resulted in my firing. So following that big fall from grace, I ended up actually going back to the golf course just to make sure I could pay the bills. I was an adult now, I didn't have college to fall back on, so I just needed to keep my head up. And that's what I did. All the way until the reveal of the 4th fighter for the Fighters Pass, Terry. And who boy, I had no idea who this character was. No joke, even after Terry got leaked, and after the official reveal, I was just standing there looking at my screen going, who the flip is that? The only reason I bring up Terry is because I remember when Sakurai did his big presentation about how Terry was going to play in the game, I watched it on my phone while I was helping rake leaves in the parking lot during that particular stint at the golf course. And even though I didn't really care about Terry, and even though Nintendo had said Sakurai won't be revealing anything else about new fighters or anything like that during this presentation, I mostly watched because usually those presentations came with Mii costumes, and I wanted to make sure Sora was still alive. But even with only one fighter left to reveal in the first Fighters Pass, I did have a lot of great hope, because when Nintendo initially revealed Terry during the Nintendo Direct, they revealed that they were also going to be releasing brand new DLC fighters beyond the 5. And I was ecstatic. Not only were we getting more characters to potentially make this game even greater than it already was, but of course, I still held out hope for my boy Sora. But of course, before we got there, we had Byleth. Another Fire Emblem DLC character. Okay, before I go on a traditional internet hates Byleth and Fire Emblem rant, there is no denying that this series has gained a lot of popularity since Awakening on the 3DS, and it makes sense why they've been adding more fighters. But for me, my brother loves Fire Emblem, but I couldn't care less. And it does seem kinda strange that there are more Fire Emblem reps than Zelda reps. Heck, if you only count the trainer as one fighter, then Fire Emblem has just as many reps as Pokemon does. And if I'm being completely honest, I don't think this goes as badly if we didn't have a plethora of Fire Emblem DLC and reveals before this. And I'm not just referencing Corrin here. Roy was a DLC in Smash 4, so there was precedent for multiple Fire Emblem characters being DLC. Plus with the addition of Chrom, it felt like the Fire Emblem side of the roster was just growing exponentially. And of course, this is all just me speculating from the outside looking in because I'm not a Fire Emblem fan. I'm sure there were plenty of people who were really excited to see Byleth join the game, but after 4 straight heavy-hitter third-party characters to be DLC, it's hard to deny that it kind of felt like a letdown that the last character of the first Fighters Pass was just a Nintendo character, and a Fire Emblem character at that. Thankfully though, Sakurai managed to keep the excitement going by revealing that for the next Fighters Pass we won't be getting only 5 fighters, but 6. And that was really exciting, and I couldn't wait to see what the future held. But the future held a massive shift for the entire world that would even affect the release of these fighters. But we'll talk about that next time as we go over Fighters Pass 2. Thank you guys so much for watching, I hope you enjoyed. Please like, share, subscribe, all that stuff for the glory of the almighty algorithm. Just to remind everybody again, if I somehow manage to get over 100 subscribers on my channel before December 7th, this coming Thursday, I will do a 12-hour livestream of Smash Ultimate leading into the Game Awards. And if somehow by some miracle I manage to get over 1,000 subscribers, I will do a 24-hour live stream of Smash Brothers. Because, goodness forbid, YouTube doesn't love their goofy, stupid challenges. I hope you enjoyed. Like I said, next time we're talking about Fighters Pass 2, may your heart be your guiding key.